Greetings, fellow snowflakes. Remember when I used to say that? I've been recently doing some astrology videos. I was a bit quiet on YouTube for a while. And while it's important to do those videos for me, and to develop from there to doing more general spiritual videos, I did realise that a large amount of my subscriber base were attracted to my channel in the first place because of the transgender content I did and the various, I don't know, sexuality and gender related content that I made for this channel. So I've decided to start doing these videos every week as well, where the idea is for it to be a little bit informal and sort of like chatty, rather than scripted and structured, but basically to create a kind of community space for people, for LGBT people, LGBTQIA people, and for kinky people and poly people and all of that. Just a kind of community space, which I'm probably going to call queer space or queer community updates or something. When I first started doing videos for this channel, there was a lot of conflict on YouTube in particular between feminist, what gets called SJW content on the one hand and anti-feminist, anti-SJW content on the other hand. A lot of things have happened since then. I'm not sure how toxic the YouTube community is about these matters anymore, how much drama and fighting and trolling is going on anymore with regards to these issues. It seems to have gone a bit quiet to me. But maybe that's because I've been a bit quiet on that sort of content recently. I'm noticing it a lot on Twitter still. It's interesting how the political, social dynamic has shifted over time, though. I seem to remember that this was a lot of the kind of trollish, dogpiling kind of hateful towards trans people and non-binary people, kinds of people that they were back then, were all anti-feminist, and that it started from a kind of not liking the fact that Anita Sarkeesian was critiquing video games for being sexist, and saying that this was censorship and all that. That seemed to be what the culture was like at the time, and then it got all messed up with MRA kind of stuff and the rise of the alt-right. Now it seems that it's gone very much either in a white nationalist kind of racist direction very much, or it's gone in a kind of hating trans people from a feminist perspective, or a supposedly feminist perspective, the TERF thing on the other hand, which is deeply ironic. Also, a lot of these types are complaining that things are too SJW or too politically correct with regards to films and TV and stuff that include people of colour or women or LGBT characters in prominent roles, and that's interesting given that supposedly it started off being, we don't like you telling people who create video games what kind of content they should put in them. There's so many ironies involved in the way that things are developed. Now the furor on social media seems, I mean, it may have been a prevailing zeitgeist that went beyond social media for all I know, but it seems like all this stuff seems to have influenced actual politics now, which is scary. And we all seem to be dealing with the consequences of what happened here. But I'm hoping that now that the bigots are showing just how racist they are, or how transphobic and illogical they are, and that it's now affecting real life politics and actually impacting negatively on a lot of people's lives, not just minorities, that maybe now is a better climate in which to make this sort of content than it was back then, when it would attract huge amounts of hate from lots of people and mockery too. But in any case, I've grown and changed over that time. Not to the extent of radically changing my views on these matters, because that would involve me being very unempathetic towards people who are different to myself, or very, stabbing myself in the back with regards to trans issues in particular. So, it's not like my views have changed enormously radically, but perhaps my approach has a little bit. I was sort of sucked into, to some extent, at times, into that whole, drama equals clicks sort of thing, and being antagonistic on purpose sort of gets you more views and everything. I no longer expect this YouTube channel to be anything but a few subscribers who enjoy my content. I'm not really looking to try and get more and more subscribers. If it happens, that's great, but I've long since realised I'll never make any money from YouTube, and I'll never have much of a following, so it doesn't matter. But I do think in my immature early YouTube days I was a bit kind of, let's be antagonistic because it creates views sort of thing. Now I'm a little bit more gentle in my approach. Hence this thing, this is for people who I consider my communities, whether the kink community, the polyamory community, or the the lesbian, gay and bisexual community, or the transgender and non-binary community. These are for my people, and allied people and people who are allies to all of those things. And I just want to make it an informal kind of let's chat about stuff thing. Which I was going to do live streams, but I had a bit of difficulty with that, and then I realised it was more stress than it was worth. So I'm afraid I'm still going to do the whole recording a video and uploading it thing. But feel free to comment in the below. Let's make this a friendly, queer-friendly, trans-friendly place where we can all just come together and, try and get through this depressing lockdown and pandemic, and try and get through the depressing and worrying state of the world these days, and make a kind of space for queer and trans and kinky and polyamorous people. So that's my idea for these things. So what do I chat about? Update, obviously I've been on hormones now. I mean, you would have seen my hormones updates about 2 years ago. Yes, I've been on hormones for 2 years now. So that's coming on not nicely. I seem to be growing breasts, which I like very much. And I feel a lot more settled and comfortable in my gender than I used to. It's a funny thing that feeling more feminine physically sort of thing really helps you feel more confident and settled in your own gender identity and your mind as well. So, and it's been wonderful for my mental health. I mean, I still have days where things get me down. Like the memories of past emotional abusive relationships will play on my mind from time to time. Or I'll just have some negative moods sometimes. But nothing like as debilitating as the negative moods I used to have before hormones. In fact, I wouldn't even describe it as depression anymore. Just normal moods. So it has been miraculous, really, on my mental health. Which confirms to me that there's something in my brain that responds better to estrogen than to testosterone. And that therefore my gender is to do with the wiring in my brain, I guess. So it's kind of confirmed a lot that we are valid and we are who we say we are. But anyway, whether I'm going to ever have surgery, I don't know, although I'm coming more and more to the conclusion that I probably will eventually. Not on my face. I don't see the need. I don't think I have a particularly masculine face. It bugs me sometimes. I mean, I don't look as beautiful as a lot of other women who I admire and feel envious of. But you know what? It's fine. I think facial surgery seems very brutal. I don't really want my face to be all bruised afterwards and swollen and all that. It doesn't look like a nice thing to go to me, and it doesn't seem like there's a massive pressing need. I'm not big on the beauty standards and the idea that men or women have to look a certain way anyway. So I'm not going to have facial feminization surgery. I don't need breast surgery because they're growing nicely on estrogen, and I don't mind if they stay somewhat small or medium. The fact that they're there and they're feminine breasts is enough to make me feel good about myself, and it really does make me feel good about myself. And I've never been into breasts in a sexual way with other people, but I am so happy with my breasts because they're supposed to be there and they make me feel good about myself. So, but yeah, estrogen is taking care of that quite adequately. I don't need any surgery there. But surgery down below, it's a difficult thing to contemplate because I'm not so disconnected from that part of my body that I don't like to self-pleasure or to be pleasured there. It's just, but I do struggle with certain sexual activities that people might expect people with penises to do. Not to go into too much graphic detail, but and little things like if someone's going down on me, I don't like to look because it looks like too heterosexual an image in my mind, and that messes with me. too male. I mean, I suppose I don't relate to my erect penis enough to be able to feel like it's me when I'm watching it during sexual activity or something. But so there's an area there where I'm like, think how much better my sex life could be if I had the body I'm supposed to have. If it just feels so much more natural and healthy and right and relaxed instead of stressful and weird and difficult. So that's reason enough. I mean, and self-image things. I imagine looking at myself in the mirror with the body I'm supposed to have. You know, when I'm naked, I come out from the shower or something, or just in knickers or something. And yeah, there's a lot of things like that where it would help with self-image. But because I'm not so disconnected from that part of my body that I don't like to touch it or to be touched there, there is something quite scary about going through surgery on that part of your anatomy. However, I'm positive that I will never miss my penis, and I certainly won't miss my testicles. You could get rid of them right now if you wanted, except that it would affect the outcome of the full surgery when I do have it. I'm positive that I will never miss what I've got now, and that the end result of having a vagina, labia, clitoris, all of that will be so positive and right for me. I have no doubt about all that. It's just the process of going through the surgery is kind of scary. But as time goes by, I'm realizing more and more how certain I am that it would be worth it the other side. So I just need to be brave, put on my big girl pants and do it. But can't at the moment because non-essential surgery and all that. Lockdown, pandemic and all that. And you know, it would take a while for me to get back into the extended clinic and have a few assessments and talks and whatever they do before you go through surgery, you know, when you go back to them, because of course I've been through all the assessment to figure out that I am transversive, so that I can start hormones. But yeah, so it might take a while anyway, and right now I can't even contemplate doing it till this pandemic thing is all over. But in the future I will have the surgery, the bottom surgery. I don't know what else to talk about. I suppose week by week as I do these, I might talk a little bit more about sexuality or kink or polyamory or whatever I feel like talking about. But I just wanted to like have a little bit of a, isn't it weird, how things have developed since I was last doing YouTube videos, and you know, say hi, I'm back and I'm going to be making this sort of content again and explaining what I'm about and a little bit of an update about me. So thanks for watching. We're all different, we're all special. Snowflakes unite.